What's up everyone, it's Jambors, new video, and in this video I will be reacting on snippets from semi-final 1 and few disclaimers. Of course, I am aware that those are just snippets, so what is important also for you to know that even though we can somehow think about the atmosphere, what is there, what probably the directors or the guys, creative directors who are working on them were thinking of it, what kind of atmosphere it has, what kind of things it misses, because there are many leads in them, it's still out of context. This is important to say because it's extremely important what it's kind of before or after, where it's elevate or to what, from what atmosphere it changed to this. So something what might also look now kind of like uneasy, doesn't really working or something, might work in the bigger, wider picture. Even though there are some hints from those rehearsals, which it was given by Eurovision channels and those public broadcasters who released those snippets. And I will go through it. Also, I will try to give you some detail as a masterclass, which my masterclass is, because as I'm a kind of a stage director myself, even though I did it only twice for Mikolas Josef and especially for Lake Malawi, where I created the whole concept, I will give you the detail in what is missing or what they are doing right, why this is, for example, a right direction, because this is a huge topic of mine, so I will try to give you a bigger scope. I will go country by country, and yet after this I will tell you which are my top snippets and why, and which are kind of the top bottom, let's say. So if you're ready, let's start, and let's start with Croatia. Poison Cake, Marko Bošnjak, and the Brilliance. And now you must say, like, but Jan, you're crazy, like, it's not perfect singing or something. Yes, like from this snippet I could say that everything what they could, it's to make the sound that rich and that overwhelming, that every kind of vocal in it, it's a little bit lost to each other, but also your brain is completely overdosed by the effects, by the camera work, by the edit. And this is something what they, in my opinion, they brilliantly over there from this snippet, that they respect the song chaoticness. It's really chaotic, it's really over the top, there is kind of nothing missing, but at the right time. If you watch the snippet, you can see easily and hear easily that every single sound, every single little movement of some kind of instrument, regardless it's electronic or whatever, it's somehow captivated in the image. By the effects, like I mean the graphical SFX effect or kind of a mask, you know, all those glitches and so on. By light changes, by sudden crazy nice light changes, which are always supported by kind of a camera work. So the tone, which is for example like a long tone, it's always followed by some long camera light move, camera move, edit, glitch. Everything is on point, so it feels that it belongs. Okay, you maybe don't like the song, but just talking about the staging and how the staging represents the song itself, it really works. Next country, the Netherlands. So they released a snippet of part of the song and it showed few hints from Claude himself, but also from the staging of the song Tel Aviv. First of all, it's an uplifting kind of song, but set into the dark atmosphere, which wouldn't be an issue at all. They keep it minimalistic and everything. The issue is this, that there is this huge beat in the song and it's not supported in the stage. If it's there, if the lights are blinking exactly in the rhythm, it's extremely important, extremely. I don't understand why they didn't play with it more. It would give the whole thing absolutely rich vibe, and then it would work. It would feel much more uplifting. He would feel much more uplifting, because now there is something like missing, right? And you can say like his vocal maybe, I don't see this as an issue. His energy, yes, I would say he was pretty nervous, but the most thing is that the song, it's kind of dancey, vibey. and this element is completely missing in the staging, and that's because they didn't support the light beat of the rhythm. If there is on every this beat, if there is light blink, if there is, you know, some supported lights which will create this, and shaky, and it'd be a little bit more dancey camera, it would work. It would work easily, and I think this is still something they can do about to add this, because this is just one light support which is easy to program. This is what I would do, otherwise I think it loses the energy, and that's the reason, because this primal energy of the song itself, it's not supported visually, which in my opinion is a huge, tragical maybe mistake for one of the dark horses of Eurovision 2025. But let's see. Next country. Next country is Albania, and what I like on this snippet is that it shows exactly the atmosphere, what this song represents. First of all, clearly Albania, clearly folkish elements with modern artistry. And I'm saying it like openly because this won't be probably about the whole beat effects supported, but it's about the general overall atmosphere about the song. Some countries are approaching the Eurovision stage as music videos, which I think this is a very fine stuff, because the technology allows this and helps to dynamize things which otherwise, camera-wise, wouldn't work that well. And we are in the era 2025, you know, this is extremely important. The feeling is important in here, the atmosphere. It does the thing that it shows you that this is something else, something bigger, something stand out. How they play with those Lego lights, reshaping the stage, which otherwise, if it's not used, it's flat and not working. Especially this frame, actually in my opinion, doesn't really work pretty well if you don't break the whole flatness of the backdrop LED screen, which is flat, and the frame, which is also flat by principle, if you don't break it by those slides. But if you recreate the shape of it, then it will give you a different vibe. Also, they have some props on the stage which also kills and giving a spatial feeling of it in general. But for me, this is a pure artistry in the way that I feel extremely pleasant with, because again, it respects the song itself by the snippet, of course. Let's see the rest. But for me, big ups, especially when they use the pyro the way that it's normally wouldn't belong in any other song properly like this. But in here, it's just the atmosphere element which supports the whole picture. I think that's why they are using a lot of wide shots also in the snippets, which normally wouldn't work, but in here, with the orchestration, kind of make it feel bigger than it might be. In my opinion, very good job. Next country, Azerbaijan. Oh my. So, this snippet shows one extremely important thing, how important it is to feel the vibe of the song and respect it with the color palette. In my opinion, this is the first issue of the song. It's very uplifting, the song, colorful, pleasant, you know, playful, and the color palette is dark, fireish, warm, not fitting. It's a mismatch between what the song is, what is the feeling from the song, and how it looks in general. It's like a rock song on the stage, but funky song on the other hand. Those words don't connect. And this is, in my opinion, the highest issue, the biggest mistake, that immediately it doesn't match. In my opinion, immediately it says this song has almost no, like, it doesn't work. Like, it should have been colorful, playful, vibrant, you know, smiley, but it's doing the exact opposite. The other issue they have here, that all the lights, all the effects, and there are millions of the lights used in a nice manner, but not working for the song beat, for the song elements. They support the least important ones the most, and the most important ones which are supported in music are not there. So the lights are doing random stuff over here and there in the backdrop and everything, but nothing supports the tempo of the song. And because it's not even respected by the camera edit, then you have nothing to catch. So you will watch it, but you won't enjoy the playfulness of the song, which was, in my opinion, the essence they should have grabbed and use. But they did Eurovision. Never work. And it won't work in the competition with some new directors in who are feeling it much, much better. Sorry, Azerbaijan. Sorry, but this is not it. Next country, Portugal. So, Portugal always plays with low budget. They need to be creative. They need to find a way how to recreate the nice vibe atmosphere. And I always adore and like how they always check the arena and say like, okay, how we can use all those elements in our favor so we can kind of stand out without putting so much money into it. And of course, they did it again. They are using those Lego lights in the way how they are reshaping the arena, basically caging a little bit in this snippet the artists from Napa with their song Deslocado, and they are bringing the vibe with very pleasant and like very nice camera work, LED screen work, and also playing with the depths. And this is extremely important because the song is slow. You would say maybe boring, but it's slow. It has this artistic tempo and everything there supports it. It goes with the flow and then it might work. And in my opinion, it very well worked because again, the staging respects the song flow, the song melody, the song tempo. And again, it's respected by the camera flow, how smoothly it goes, how everything else smoothly go, how lights then on some beat or some change reacts to support it, to, you know, wake you up, to get you in. Everything in here in your brain is reacting to it. Like when light do this and there is no sound, it wouldn't work. But if it do this on the proper sound, it somehow feels that the light has a sound, right? And this is how they embody the staging, in my opinion, a good work. I don't know if it might save the song, but they did maximum to support its atmosphere, to keep it authentic and to keep it for your brain pleasant, which it's not a contradiction. They again went with what it is and grabbed the most important elements and elevated it. So definitely I think this is a huge progress. Somebody said, in this case somebody said, I think on the Czech Discord, that that would be nicer with this nice atmosphere from Festival da Canção. And I disagree in this, in the way that on such a huge stage, it would be extremely hard to cage it to this like a small studio. It's still a huge stage. You still need to think about it as a huge stage. It's very hard then to not have all those spaces extremely empty. And they did the opposite. They caged it with not emptiness, but kept it around about it. And then the camera work basically do this intimacy, you know. Important, again, in my opinion, very good job, at least from this snippet. Next country, San Marino, Party, Tutta l'Italia, and Gabri Ponte. I like it. I think it does what it should do. I also like they put the detail, a very important one, the microphone on Gabri. So I don't know if he really sings, but definitely it feels a part of singing, and then it keeps it much more authentic, real. It would be even more, like, it would be better if he has a real microphone, like, you know, to make it as a party, maybe even to be closer to the whole audience in general. But I like how it's edited. I like how it's edited, how all the graphics, pyro and everything goes on point in this snippet. It feels like a party. The editing is absolutely brilliant. It really follows again the musical tempo, musical elements, the vibe, and it goes with it. It's extremely important because this is a hard song to qualify, in my opinion. Maybe not. What, I don't know. But if I can tell if they did maximum, I think also they did maximum also last year. I think it was also very good staging. But it's San Marino. The song maybe didn't work that much, but they know what they are doing and they did the job right in the snippet. It works exactly how it kind of should be. Might be even more people on the stage a little bit more captivated, make it bigger party. That's why I would somehow suggest, but this is not possible now. Maybe this was also because of the camera work. Just to make the people as close to them would really recreate this party feeling. Like party with him having this DJ table or DJ pult, I don't know how it's in English actually, and having people just in from partying. And I think with the full arena this will have even better atmosphere. With this it would be a little bit better, but maybe there were technical reasons why they are set on this bigger part of the set, and I don't mind it that much. It would just have been better in my opinion if it would be possible. Next country, Belgium. So lots of people like Belgium really much. I would say that in compared to some others, it's in the middle. And the reason is that there are some very nice ideas, like his clones, this Instagram effect, like everybody has a little bit different posture, then he's kind of grabbing them, but it's not done very well. Such things should be, like, I know it would be hardcore to shoot, but if you do a one-shot camera not moving, and you create those copies, and he just basically come and frame them, and then they are becoming him, that would look nicer. This is somehow not executed the way how probably they expected the effect to be in general. I understand it, good idea, a little bit better execution would be needed. Also, the song I think works, but what it misses a little bit is the depth, richness of the sound visualized. I think it would need more supportive beat, it would need much faster editing, and it would need like changing the camera angles. I think there are ideas, but the camera work and the editing work and the light work in the same combination kind of missing the proper tempo vibe. They have very nice ideas, those strobo effects and so on, but they are not that crazily visible. There must be a little bit more dominance also in the background or somewhere in the lights to support it a little bit better. I like that they are using the frame thing, so they are not completely on this LED wall, so they have bigger depth, and they are using the 360 camera angle, so they will also reveal the arena behind, which will be full of people. But I think it misses the narration by the camera work and editing the most, which would really help it if it's much more dynamic, because the song is crazily dynamic. It needs to be dynamized. Next country, Poland. Oh, Poland. So I think Poland wanted to look epic, and they have epic elements. She's hanging there. It's a snippet, right? But the dragon. I think it's a fascination for me how actually extremely literal they decided to be with the planets, with the dragon. It doesn't fit. Like, it doesn't fit. It's a fantasy, or it's a Polish culture, or it's Gaia. Like, you know, it feels so Eurovision. It feels so Eurovision, but 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago. So literal. They are using the lights amazingly. I think they are using the camera angles amazingly. I think also this would work. But somehow Poland needs to show it all the time, be extremely literal with the graphics and so on, which makes it extreme kitsch. It's a kitsch. I don't know what else to say about it, because on the other hand, camera work wise and editing wise, somehow it works, it supports this epicness in this snippet. But then with all, like, people will be laughing in front of the screens in my opinion, because it's a little bit too much. I don't want to laugh about it, but I just think that if something embodies Eurovision cliche and something what was Eurovision in the past, everything is here in this staging, and I think we will see more. I think there will be missing nothing. If it's right, if it's wrong, if you like it, if you don't, up to you, you know. I don't want to judge this part. I'm just telling you that all those combination elements, if it's more about atmosphere, more about light, not such concrete elements, it would give the vibe to her and the epicness much more. It would just look better from the cheap, instead of like a cheap movie, to something really epic, because the dragon is in it. Come on, why the dragon is even there? Anyway, let's move on to the next country, and the next country is Norway. Kyle Alessandro, and from the snippet it shows one big issue. They, you know, when they are falling those Lego lights on him, there is a piano play, and this, if they support it with the light, dun, 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 the piano, it won't look, this moment looks blank, like nothing is going on, and it's a boredom. It kept him there alone, but he's not epic charismatic. It doesn't evolve to something, and it's a wrong moment, and then everything else feels very, very flat. If they support when the lights are going down, the piano, and they will make the dynamics proper, it would dynamize the moment. It would help the gradation to everything what's after all is happening. That ended up in just Eurovision. But it doesn't have any additional value, and few details plays a huge role, because if you go with the elements which are clear, which are strong, which are making it stand out, which are all those tones which rise like in front of anything else, like this piano for example, it would create much higher richness of the whole picture. And this is not happening in here in this case, pitifully, but it is what it is. Maybe in the whole complex it would feel much better. Let's see. I think it kind of falls a little bit flat, regardless the thing that they put amazing nice probe behind and a little bit killed this flatness of the stage when you don't use all the elements. I would say the potential is a little bit higher. It's higher, 100%. Next country, Estonia. So Estonia, use the graphics, use the cliche, but it's a parody. Like lots of people say, like the singing and so on, but it's a parody. It's a parody which doesn't try to be anything else than a parody, and I think it's truthful to itself. In this snippet we see basically the intro of the whole song, so this is very hard to judge because the context will come and the flow will come. So also now edited nicely, works with the parody. I think people will be a little bit laughing in general already, because they will see. I think he needs, if he can do even more parodical, be more parodical, it would even help the comedy aspect of it, because it's truthful comedy. Otherwise I have nothing much else to see. It's a little bit flat, you know, they don't use anything else. Small guys on a huge stage with the huge LED screen, a little bit flat, even though they try to prolong it with the graphics. But let's see how it will look afterwards when the song will continue, how they will play with the light and so on, because how the start it's starting, I think it starts how it should, nicely, you know. There is nothing to complain about really, but nothing also to catch to really say like it tells me this or it tells me this. This is a smart snippet to basically be able to say nothing, even though I said like 3-4 minutes. Anyway, next country, Ukraine, Zifferblatt and Bird of Prey. This is amazing, and I was like, this is so no, like the staging, the proper staging respects the song, respects the artist and the feeling, the vibe they really have. And I think this has it, this psychedelic, hippie, colorful, declarified visual. I think this is the amazing thing, that they put this filter which basically take the clarity out. I'm using it a lot, for example, in my photography, and everything has a little bit of glow around. It's not that sharp, it's not that perfect, it's glowing, it's there, and it feels a little bit dreamish, and it stands out, it pops out, and it creates the vibe. But there are a few more elements. First of all, how they use the graphics, what kind of graphics, how it creates a little bit depth, how they use the edit, and how they, for example, cancel the light over there exactly when they should. I think this is how they understand what elements they can play with. Edits, camera, lights. And then they can add effects, all the cheap elements of this, if they are done correctly. And in here, it feels they exactly know what they are doing at the exact right moment, timed atmosphere. Maybe not for everybody, maybe you expected some crazy rock or something, but I think this is not an epic song in the way of being epic with some crazy epicness. It's epic in its own different way, and I think the whole vibe completely respects what the song is, and it embodies it on the stage live. This is the staging. This is the purpose and principle of the staging. Embody the song and elevate it with the help of the artists. and I think it's going on in Ukraine. Again, once again, they know what they are doing. Let's see in the bigger picture, of course, if it won't be, for example, too boring, or if they have lots to show. I guess they do, but let's see. Next country, Sweden. Well, Barabarabastu, Kai, they're basically replicating what they did already in Melody Festival, and Sauna, Depth, basically having their own set on the set. In my opinion, very professional. It works. It works by edits, it works by the tone of color palette, by the choreography, by the camera work. Basically, it's perfection. It's a perfection. There is only the issue if you like the song or you don't. But what can you say about the staging? It simply worked absolutely. There is nothing else to say. This is a perfect staging for a song which respects it completely and support it, and creating everything around it to exactly deliver what is important for them, which is fun, which is some dynamics, and more fun. And they do this. They showed it, they proved it, and also with the all depthness all around it, basically created by stage. This will be one big party, big favorite in my opinion. Like, we don't need to doubt the staging here at all, because they know exactly what to do. It's precise, it's perfect. What to say? They already tested it more than once, so we knew what to expect, and they delivered. They delivered, let's be honest about it. Next country, and that's Slovenia. Probably last part of the song, they revealed that this epicness is singing, melancholy, also nice classical effect of revealing his wife. I'm very curious how they will manage the whole 3 minutes with this, because they try to play it epic in the way which, for example, I don't like that much here, as I found out about the arena, how it really works with the Lego light, that they create this cascade towards him. Instead of reshaping it this way, they do it like this way in front instead of on the sides, which I think it would work a little better. But I think what they wanted to do is to kill the LED screen, to kill those elements and keep it as natural as possible, which those lights elements really support, and they make it more natural. And I think for this song, such a vibe, atmosphere, warm, works. I don't know what else they could do. I know that there will be dancers, they will put him upside down. I think this is not a great thing. I think the microphone on standard and singing and camera going around, having this concert vibe would be a little bit better. But let's see the full idea. But I like the snippet. I really like it because it, first of all, shown in all the pattern which this semi-final has, that this is the unique song there. It is absolutely unique. But there will be also those non-competing countries there in the mix, which I think it's a big mistake, especially for Clement himself. Actually, I think this is a huge thing, because now he will have a competition in it, and this is a wrong thing to do, very wrong. It won't help them. But the way what they shown and how the vibe when going through it was very, very pleasant and nice. It's a little bit pity that he will start very soon in the show, because I think for this would be much more better for him that if he's later in the show, so you can compare this to the rest. Now I think it can be a little bit forgotten. But you know, the rules are rules, right? Producers are choosing the order. So this is how it is. Next country, and I think also the last. No, there are two more. So it's Iceland. Rudike. This works. It works. It's not made for me. It's, I think, the Generation Z thing, younger people, Minecraft, party. They sing a little bit better in the snippet. I actually didn't catch my attention, and I was like, oh my god. No, everybody actually sounds very good in general. And they're dancing, they are doing the party. If it will be enough, I don't know. For me, what it does, I miss some more element there on the stage to maybe support the LED screen Minecraftish feeling. Maybe there will be something in the, you know, in the whole other thing. The snippet didn't show this. It showed the party, it showed those crazy costumes, it showed the dance move, and I think it shows nice camera dynamics. It works. There, like, it's nothing, I would say, like wow element or wow-ish thing. but who would expect it? Like, I think again they respected what the song is, how it sounds, and in here the camera work and edit, it's much more keyframe than the graphics behind and so on. It just needs to beat and do and beat and do and beat and do. And I think they will do it. If they will do it properly for whole 3 minutes, let's see. But definitely there is nothing to say like, oh my god, this is completely off. I don't think so, actually. And let's move on to Cyprus, because this is the last country and this is fascinatingly good. I love the light and editing play. I like that they framed it completely differently. They are playful and in the minimalistic somehow, but fascinatingly, amazingly use of light, because one light goes from here, then from here. It recreates the shapes completely. You see how light is the most important element in the camera work somehow. And because they use the static camera there, and they re-edit a little bit, and also this supports the editing kind of, because it feels like the edit, and they in the movement, the choreography, all on point. All on point. I'm not surprised because I know who is doing this, and I know, because you can see it from first work, that this person has amazingly good sense for feeling the music, that there is no detail element which would be blank, and that's exactly how the proper staging should be done. It won't give you a space for doubts. It simply will burn in you, because every single element, sound, little sound, bigger sound, also the fact that they feel which sounds it's more important than the other, and they exactly in the layers supporting them where they should. It says that this might be one of the best stagings of Eurovision 2025, and it feels so simple, right? But this is how you do hard work with the feeling, and the feeling, even its technical feeling, it's the feeling of the music, of the song, then dismantling all those elements and put them in the right moment in the visual style. And they, in this snippet at least, they did. They did. So this is my description of all those snippets, or reaction to all of those snippets in more master classy style, let's say. I will for sure do master classes of all those stagings, or most of them, so you can watch also my previous ones to really understand about stagings much more detailed than it's nice. I like this element, but to understand why this something is used, why something was missing, why this really worked, I will tell you all the tricks behind it, or most of them. And now let me tell you my top of the snippets from the first semi-final. So first, I will mention Ukraine, because this respects the song the way that it's really elevates its vibe, it elevates its feeling, and bringing like some new type of creativity which maybe a regular viewer cannot really appreciate, but I see it clearly. I see clearly the way, and I like this kind of originality. I like this kind of creative thinking. If you cannot do something more, figure out the way what you can do with what you have. Brilliant. My other top, because there will be 3, is Cyprus. Obviously, this is a pure perfection from the snippet, pure perfection. This is how I think directors should think about stagings, not the same, and I think this is the very common mistake. Somebody sees this work, let's replicate it on our song. No, but every song has a little bit different tempo, different sounds, different something. But what I like in here, that the direction, all the elements are combined and creates one working smooth body with all those little things which are going on, and there are many things which are going on in just 30 seconds. Many, many, many things. And it's not about the prop. The prop is here to support something, but it's about how the usage of light, camera work, choreography in one, as a one element combined perfectly, can bring up a brilliant smooth atmosphere, so it feels like you're watching 3 seconds, not 30 seconds, right? And this is what you do. This is why I'm saying it doesn't matter if the song has 3 minutes or 2 minutes. Bambi Tak last year had 2 minutes 15 or something like this. The impact is important, and the impact what will happen in here is happen exactly how the effect, because you cannot really tell what is 2 minutes and 3 minutes if you have fun, but you can sometimes say that 3 minutes feels like 30 minutes, right? Because it was boring. So yeah, amazing. CYPRUS, amazing. Well, and the third one, that was the hard one because there are really some good snippets, but I decided to choose Albania. Albania because it respects the roots of the song, the feeling and the vibe of the song, by the fact that it really delivered the artistic feeling. I don't know again how it's for regular viewer that might be taken, but from the professional point of view, or at least from mine, this is pure art using folk elements, which I wouldn't mind that much, but it belongs, and everything how it moves, like na 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 na, you can feel that the arena, that the camera, the whole vibe, it's floating with the song. It floats with the song, and it's vibing to me. And I think this is extremely gentle approach to not an easy song to make a stage to look current, but not being this what, for example, what CYPRUS is, because this method wouldn't work here because it's a completely different vibe. And I like that Albania completely respected their song, and they used the arena element to help it dance, and it really did. And for this comes a big plus. That's why it's in my top 3 of snippets stagings. And now let's go to the opposite part. So definitely you found out that Azerbaijan is there 100%. I think this is a completely miss of staging contra the song. Absolutely miss, and yet still in the staging I can see lots of mistakes which are not supporting the right elements of the tonality of the song and using the wrong ones to be in front. For example, they did this change with the vocal, now I don't know which one it is, but the kind of like a wave come from the artist, but it's hidden in the all the other elements kind of, so I could see it, but this should be the main thing, you know, this should grab the attention because this was the sudden change. Wrong, nothing really, this is a lot of effects used, but for a different song, not this one. Sorry, this doesn't really work. I'm like, this is my favorite song, and I'm really telling no, this is not how it should look. The other one in this is Netherlands, and I'm sorry to say, because for me Netherlands is a dark horse to win the Eurovision, but the snippet shown one huge, I wouldn't say mistake, even like a misconceptual thing, because I understand what they wanted to create, the good vibe, the vibe. But if you want to create such a vibe and you want to make it extremely minimalistic and hide it to the minimalism, at least in the snippet, maybe the context will again tell us a little bit different story, but you have a dancey vibe in it, you have the dancey, there is a dancey element in it, there is this beat, you need to support this beat as the first place, you cannot leave it there, because otherwise it makes no sense somehow. If you support the beat, you will make it a little bit dance, everything around it would make sense, you will cage it in it, but you will recreate it. And because this beat, the most important part of the song for the dancey element of it, is missing, only the artist doing it, it's not enough, because it makes no sense, because to what he's referring somehow. You must support it by the light. That's why the light is extremely important in its usage. And I think they missed the chance. I don't know if they have a chance to add it, but if not, definitely not my thing, at least from the snippet, no. And the third one, like, I wanted to say Poland, but I think that would be a cliche, because this is basically against my taste. But on the other hand, I don't think there is technically something very wrong. So the one I wrote in here, because I don't want to do a mistake, is, so the last one, I would say Belgium. And now you might be surprised, but I feel that there are many elements, especially by the camera work and the edit, which are not helping the song. There are many ideas. It reminds me a little bit of Czechia of last year. Many nice ideas, but they are not composed together. And it must be composed together to really work, to give you the right impression. Otherwise, it feels like a stage show which is shot on cameras. But this is not enough in 2025, and this is not enough for me. So this is my top 3 bottom. And that's also it. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, become members if you want to support this channel a little bit more, to support me also, and also have some exclusive content. Also those masterclasses, some of them for sure will be exclusive only for my members. So subscribe there, members, and also write me in the comments below what do you think. Thank you for watching. See you next time.